Hi, welcome to another edition of Jamie's Super Easy Superfoods. Okay, really excited about today's one. We're going to be making super healthy power bars. If you find yourself going to the supermarket or even Holland & Barrett and you try and find yourself a really healthy snack bar, you'll quickly find that a lot of bars you see are full of sugar or full of sugar substitutes or even full of E numbers, even if they say they're natural bars. So I'm going to show you how to make your own super healthy superfood bars. So we've got lots of dry ingredients and powders to put in, some other lovely ingredients, and then to bind the whole thing together we need a base. Now the base I'm going to use is cacao butter and some coconut oil. And come over here and I'll show you how to do it. So what we've got here is called a bain-marie, and it's simply a pot with gently simmering water and a glass bowl on top. Now into that we're going to add the coconut oil and the cacao butter. So first thing to go in is the cacao butter, probably about that much. Now you can order that online and I'll give you a website address for somewhere where you can find that. And it just smells just like chocolate. Well, it is chocolate. Cacao butter. Okay, then the next thing we add in is our coconut oil. Now when you buy it, it comes solid, so you have to scoop it in. Let's put in that's 1 spoon, and then put in another spoon. Probably 1 more big spoon. So it's mostly cacao butter and some coconut oil. Now those 2 ingredients will gradually dissolve in the bain-marie until they're liquid. So it's still effectively going to be a raw recipe. Okay, let's get the other stuff ready. So I've got myself a nice big mixing bowl here. I'm just going to literally chuck everything in there. So let's get started. Now then, what have we got here? First of all, some cacao powder. Now in terms of measures, you'll just have to kind of watch how much goes in. So a bit of cacao powder. And then I've got some sesame seeds. This is all going in no particular order. Then, what have we got here? This is oat bran. Get some oat bran in there. Here we go. Really, I'm just kind of scattering ingredients in, just vibing it a bit really. What have we got here? This is wheat germ. Get some wheat germ in there. And then next up we have got lacuma powder. This is a nice one, this. It's got a nice kind of sweet taste to it. Bit of lacuma powder, not too much of that. Now you'll probably have to do a bit of your own research on a few of these ingredients. Now this is a really great ingredient, this. It's called maca. So I'm going to put some organic maca powder in. This gives you a real buzz, this. So in goes the maca. Plenty of maca because we like that. As always, on Jamie's Super Easy Superfoods, get as many organic ingredients as you possibly can for super food health status. Now next we've got our ground seeds that I did in a previous recipe. So let's get some ground seeds in there. And then what's in here? A bit of carob powder. Carob is a tree which grows pods with seeds in them, which taste a bit like chocolate. It's like a chocolate substitute. So I'm going to get some carob in there. And then we've got These are some optional things. This is spirulina, organic spirulina. It's a bit of a funny taste that, so I'm not going to put too much in. And then we've got green barley grass powder. So a scattering of that. Again, not too much of that because that's quite a strong flavour. Right, next I'm going to add a few things in the food mixer, which are just a bit too chunky to chuck straight in. So let's do that. So the first thing I'm going to put in my food processor is some fresh coconut. Now my friend Vanessa, who's from Trinidad and Tobago, taught me how you open it without throwing it against your patio. So you just get your whole coconut, and with the back of a knife, you sharply tap it, turn it round, tap it, turn it round and tap it, and then eventually the coconut just breaks in two. And then very carefully with a knife, you can prise away these bits of fresh coconut, and it doesn't matter that you've got the bit of brown on the back, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a zhuzh, some nice fresh coconut vibes. Okay, going to have a quick look at that. Looking pretty good. Now the other thing I'm going to chuck in to break up a bit is some whole grain puffed rice, just for a bit of bulk. Put that in there. And then we've got some jumbo oats, which I'm going to chuck in there as well. Quite a bit of oats. Right. So let's give that another zhuzh. Okie dokes, that should be enough to give it a bit of texture. And that is all going to go in with all the powders and stuff that we put in the big mixing bowl. Unfortunately, I haven't got a filming assistant today. So I've got one more thing to chuck in the mix, and this is a very slight cheat for my Candida diet, and that is goji berries. But they're such a, excuse me, they're such a winner, you've just got to have it. Okay. Now at this point you can also sweeten the bars with some agave syrup, but today I'm not going to sweeten it, I'm just going to see how it is without the sweetener. You could also maybe mix in some raw honey, and then one more thing I'm going to add is a really good pinch of Himalayan pink salt. Chuck that in there. We're going to give all our ingredients a nice stir. And if you find any powdery lumps, just crumble them up. And while we've been doing all the other stuff, our coconut oil and cacao butter have dissolved nicely. So, as you can see, that's now dissolved into a liquid, and that just gets poured in there. Quite simple. Right, let's give it a really good stir. Now, it's okay using a spatula, but I have got to say, from my experience, the best way of mixing it is with your hands, because you can really work in the cacao butter and the coconut oil into the mix. So we're going to give that a good working over with our hands. Now I've also got ready a baking tray which is covered in foil and crimped down at the ends, and all we're going to do is get the mix, press it into the baking tray and put it in the fridge. Now all you have to do is make sure it's all pressed down into every corner of the tray, and really give it a good press down. That's the most important thing. Let's give it a good press down everywhere. Press it right into the corners. And what's going to happen is the coconut oil and the cacao butter will just set in the fridge and bind the bar together without you having to bake it or cook it or anything. That's why it's a raw snack. Okay, let's put that in the fridge, and in a few hours that'll be set and we'll cut it up into bars. Okay, so I've taken this out of the fridge, that's all ready to go, and all we need to do now is to cut it up into bar-sized pieces like this. So, like that. Okay, now I'm going to do the pieces across like this. So the last cross piece is there, and then all we have to do is peel off the bars, and there they are. So, superfood bars finished. Okay, so we've got all the bars cut up like this, and I've stacked them up in the Tupperware box. We're just going to seal that up and put it in the fridge, and that's our superfood bars finished. See you next time. Hey!